Welcome to Mocha Money Mondays. I am so excited to have a special guest with us today. Thank you all for being here, and we want to welcome our Phenomenal Hughes community. We want to say first and foremost, thank you to our sponsor, Welson's Financial Group. And I'm so excited because the young lady I have with us today is an amazing woman. She is one of the people who have been in this game, this entrepreneurial, this B2G, business to government. And she does just so much when it comes to being able to do government contracting. She's a phenomenal woman indeed. And I'm excited to have her at the epicenter of Phenomenal Woman today to help you get your money right, get your mindset right, and grow your business and secure the bag. And we're talking today about how to get your repeat business and how to have and secure your customer reviews. There's a strategy to that. And one of the things that we know here at Mocha Money Mondays and within the Phenomenal Hughes community, that the best customer is a repeat customer. So I'm really excited to have Miss Karen Nelson join us today. I'm going to let her, as a special guest, talk a little bit about herself and her business before we get started. And then we're going to jump into this conversation around how to get that repeat business and how to secure those all important customer reviews. So Miss Karen, go on and take it away, Miss Lady, and let the people know who you are and what you do.
Well, Ms. Ashley, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful organization this morning. I appreciate it, and thank you all very much for allowing me to just speak a little bit about my business and what I do. My name is Karen Nelson. I own a company called Infra Tech Global Services. We actually are a minority women-owned business, and we're also a vet-owned business as well. So that puts us in various stages of working with state and local government business. When Infratech first started out, and we usually use our acronym ITGS, so you'll hear me say that quite a bit. But when we first started out, we actually was doing business with the Atlanta Police Foundation. I was working with a company. We were supplying surveillance cameras, PTZ cameras, which are the pan tilt zoom cameras, as well as LPR cameras. Those cameras are usually cameras that can monitor your license plates. The LPR acronym is license plate recognition. So from there, we were also working with outside of Georgia. I was working in Burlington, North Carolina, supplying security cameras for their police force and their community as well. Moving forward, we were actually targeting HOAs, their communities, secure their pools, interest into their subdivisions. So we had a number of communities that we were actually supplying security cameras. From there, we started looking at solar because we knew that the direction of the country was going green. So we wanted to be able to see how we can really tap into that. We were already installing security cameras as well as solar security cameras as well. And basically those cameras for solar security are for new development because 9 times out of 10, they would not have access to electricity out in the different areas that they were actually developing and building and so forth. So we were able to provide solar cameras so that they were able to protect the areas that they were developing. From there, we said, okay, we're doing solar already. Let's look at doing solar panels as well. So we actually started getting in the business of solar installations for residential homes, as well as for commercial sites as well. We started off 3 years ago, and we have been building since. We even started off in the pandemic here. So that was a little rough start for us, but we were able to just keep moving forward. And then we looked at areas where there was, if you saw in the news over the last 2 or 3 years, so many solar installation companies were filing bankruptcy. They were leaving customers out here with undone projects, meaning they would have solar up on their roofs that wasn't connected, hadn't been wired correctly, hadn't been permitted, and so forth, or inspect it. So they were paying for a bill that they weren't even using. So two various finance companies that actually finance solar reached out to me to provide, as they call, mediation work. So we go in and clean up work where individual companies or install companies file bankruptcies. And we come in, do the work, get with our customers and say, how can we get you over the finish line? This side of the business has been very successful for me because unfortunately there are so many solar install companies that file bankruptcies. So I tell individuals who are listening, if you decide to actually look at solar being the direction that you want to move into, make sure you do your research not only on the company, make sure you do the research on who is selling to you to make sure that you as an individual have an understanding on what am I going to be producing back to the grid. For those who don't know what solar means, is that the solar rays is what we call DC, actually hit panels that are up on the roof or on a building for the commercial side of the house, and it produces the energy or the sunlight. That DC gets turned into AC. That solar that you have produced for that energy for your AC, which is like for your electricity in your home, will last as long as the sun is up. Once the sun goes down, for individuals who purchase batteries or generators, it actually stores that energy in there. So you're actually using that energy, that electricity, without actually having to use as much energy going back out to a Georgia Power or very other EMCs, as we call them. So moving forward, I would say that have I enjoyed this? Yes. Have I been able to build on my platform for repeated business? Absolutely. But as I tell everyone, it's all about communication, because you know that you're going to take the blunt the minute you come into a customer or reach out to a customer. You automatically are going to get targeted because they feel like you're just another installer. So I always had to, okay, this is how I'm different from the last individual that actually did the installation. And I end up getting quite a few business from not only the ones who I had to clear up their business, but because they recommended me to other family members and so forth. So I even got a lot of spaghetti dinners out of this as well. So a lot of dinners from a lot of customers because they were very happy. And I really feel like I've been blessed. I've been placed into a position, and I thank God every day that it's allowed my business to grow.
So it sounds like you're not only just getting these referrals from the companies that you talked about, the finance companies giving you referrals. You talked about the clients in the homes giving you referrals to their friends and families. So referral business is a big part of your business. And sometimes when you can't get a repeat customer, something like solar, it seems like you put that on the roof one time, you might not deal with them again for what, another 7 years? So
Not actually, because sometimes they may need maintenance. In other words, especially on homes, especially up north, you will see a lot of critter damage, like squirrels, raccoons get up and they may bite a wire. Once that wire is bit, you have to go back and you have to rewire it. So now what we have to do is put critter guards up. So the critter guards will prevent, rodents to actually go up there and get connected within the wires.
Oh, well,
So we
that's
do.
a great point. I love hearing that because it gives me a segue into the conversation around this repeat business, right? So what I thought was something that you could only do one time, there's other verticals inside of that same business that means your buyer and your client can come back to you again for those critter guards or for that maintenance. So there's got to be obviously some communication that has to happen. And that's what you said. It's all about good communication. So one of the things I do want to take a minute and give you all who are listening a quick statistic that existing customers spend 31% more money with your business than a brand new customer will spend, right? That might be a little different for Miss Karen's business as a solar company, but if you're selling products and widgets and hair care products, or you're selling your services or your business, and there's something that is a service that you can add value to your clients, that means that those clients that you've already worked with are more likely to work with you again. And repeat customers are 50% more likely to buy a new product from you than someone that's a new customer off the street that has no experience with you. So this thing that Miss Karen's talking about, someone who needs a critter guard, they're going to call you back, right? So you're more
Correct.
likely to be able to get those critter guards off because these people have already worked with you before. And one of the best channels for communicating with your customers is going to be email marketing. So, Miss Karen, are you currently doing any kind of email marketing? How do you keep in touch with your clients?
At the very beginning, when we actually reach out to our customers, that information is provided by the finance companies. At that point in time, we will call it's just like going into a new project. So we have, as we call, our very first kickoff meeting. So we communicate with the customer, find out what their needs are. We already have the information that has been provided to us by the finance company saying what is wrong, what's left to finish, what mediation work needs to be done. But I reach out to a customer because I want to find out what their concerns are, what they feel is missing, what hasn't been communicated, or if a salesperson came in and sold them A, B, and C, and they only received A, well, where's B, C, and D? So I try to go in there and make them feel comfortable. I let them know what I can do as a company itself, and what you will have to go back to a finance person or company as well to try to get information from that. So I actually try to make sure that that communication is out there, and we actually speak upon what we need to feel to make them feel comfortable for the money that they've already spent and they haven't been provided services, or they haven't been provided a discount on the utility bill. Then that is my job to make sure, say, okay, what do we need to do to make you happy?
Okay. So it sounds like you're having phone conversations with these
Always
clients.
phone conversation. And I also will send out an email as a follow up to just let them know, hey, this is the time that you'll see a technician on site. We'll follow up with them afterwards and say, okay, has everything completed? We'll get a sign off, letting them know, letting us know that we are done with your mediation work. And then we also are trying to provide like survey that they can base our customer, not just telling us on the phone, but be able to promote our business as well through a positive survey, whether it's positive, negative, but how we can improve our business as well.
So thank you for that segue, because that's the second part of our topic today, right? Customer reviews. These surveys are a great way to get that feedback, right? And so I want to make sure that we leave our audience, our listeners, with some tips, because email is king. And having that phone conversation is also really important. I think strategies, a lot of times, that we have as business owners can lean towards one thing and not have enough versatility and diversity of how our customers might want to engage with us. Some of us are solely focused on social media way more than we're focused on our email marketing strategy. Some of us are better on the phone and we don't follow up as much with those emails because we feel like we might be nagging or being bothersome. But having a versatile strategy that includes both phone calls, emails, and social media can help you to get the feedback that you want so that you can offer better service, and not only offer better service, but get that all important referral. Because not only do we want repeat business, we want new business flowing to our pipeline. And that no better business is a warm lead, someone who had an experience and is speaking highly about that experience, and then telling the friend, the family member, the coworker that this is the person that you want. And I feel like customer reviews help to jog people's memories about how wonderful an experience they had with your company. And then after they give that glowing customer review, you can follow right back up and ask for those referrals, because there's no better time to ask for a referral than when they're feeling that good, joyful feeling about the good experience they had, right? And so I think every business should have some customer review goals. So that would be the first tip and key point I would want you all to leave with, is to set a goal for your business around how many reviews do you want to have on Google reviews, on Facebook reviews, or just internally, because you can get a review in a good old Google form and then use that review, that survey, to have on your website or to share on your social media campaigns, right? And I want to ask you, Miss Karen, do you have a strategy? How many reviews or surveys does your business currently have? And how do you go about making sure that your customers are reviewing your business?
My strategy is always looking at whether it's positive or negative reviews. But from the reviews, I would like to, because I actually do anywhere from 30 plus mediations a month, and I work in 7 states. So my goal is to at least be able to have at least anywhere between 30 to 50 reviews across the board. Whether I'm working in Georgia, Illinois, so forth, but 7 states, but I would like to get at least 30 to 50 positive reviews or negative reviews a month. My goal is I can't build my customer base unless I know exactly what they feel and what they think about how I'm doing, because I always want to understand the customer's journey, what journey they are going on. Where do they feel that they built at the very beginning, where they're trying to reach, or the content they're trying to reach. So I always look at developing some type of content optimization strategy. And that strategy is building on what I receive for customers, what they think about my business, and so forth. For it, it's very important to actually have a goal that you're trying to set, the number of views. And even if you have to follow up with a telephone call, because some people don't like to do reviews or don't like to do surveys, I tell people keep it short and simple, no more than maybe 5 questions at a time, because people start losing their interest, like, oh, I don't want to go any further, and they stop. So I say keep it simple, keep it short, and move forward with that information and develop your company.
I think that's some great advice. Do you give any incentives? I know this is one of the things that, like you said, some people are like, I don't got time for a review. How do you make sure that your customers, especially at that pace, wanting to get 30 to 50 reviews a month, how are you ensuring that people give them to you? What do you do? What are some of your tricks?
Well, it's really funny because when the technicians are on site, they will usually interact with that customer themselves. I actually try to make it a point that I speak to them as well, because I already know they're going to be irate and upset. So I try to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. I allow them to vent. Then I ask them, now, can I have at least 1 minute to speak? If they'll allow me to. But at the end, my text will usually go in and speak to the homeowner, and then they will allow me to speak to the homeowner as well. And then I say, well, do you mind taking a survey for me? If that, and they're like, oh, sure. What do I need to do? Where's the link? And I'll say, you could point us to my website, and they can go ahead and fill it out from that point on. But that's the only way, because if I can't communicate with them before I leave a site, it's very hard to try to go back, call an individual and say, do you mind taking a survey for me? So I try to hit it right before I leave a site. And my techs know to actually do that or get me on the phone. And I get an opportunity just to, follow up with them. I call it post interaction. So that's basically what I look at.
So instead of actually having to incentivize people, you just kind of take action immediately. And that's what gives you the opportunity to be able to make sure you're getting the amount of reviews that you want each month.
Absolutely. That's the best direction I can do. Because especially in my business, right? To offer some type of incentive, it would be very, very hard for me. So my incentive is my customer service, quality award-winning customer service, because I don't have an incentive that I can give. Because a finance company is only going to finance what's left of that loan in order to get that job complete. So what can I give them? Because that was promised upfront from a salesperson.
That makes so much sense. Now, this is a very specific industry, but I do want anyone who's listening to this to know that there are some ways to incentivize your clients, whether you are, if you're not a big ticket item like solar, you might be able to give a $5 discount or use a promo code, or you might even be able to give a Visa gift card where you're like, okay, if you've done a review once a month, I'm going to give away $100 Visa gift card as a raffle item to everybody who has given a review for the month. You get a chance to be entered in to win. So these are some of the things that I would suggest that you can do as an incentive, because you want to make sure that people feel like they're being appreciated for giving that survey, taking that time to give that feedback, especially if you're getting good reviews, right? Now, one of the things I'd like to talk about is these negative reviews, right? Because everybody wants to get good reviews. But Miss Karen, what do you feel like we should be doing in the event we get a bad review?
For me, I would still post it on my website. I really would. And then I would go back and actually reach out to that customer. And then I would go back and post under that review, hey, I'm sorry that this happened to you. We're taking means to actually to mitigate the situation and so forth, and what we can do better to build on that. But I would reply to a negative review, because I don't think there's not one company out there that's perfect. I really don't. And you're always going to have those particular customers that are going to complain. And no matter what you do, you're still not going to be able to make them happy. But at least if you can acknowledge and you actually post that review, you're acknowledging that, yes, I might have made a mistake, or I could have made a mistake. And this is what I'm doing in order to clear up that mistake or mitigate that mistake. So yes, I would post it.
That's a good idea. And then and let's be real, sometimes you don't have a choice, right? If somebody
Right.
goes directly to Google, someone goes to Yelp, someone goes to Facebook, and they leave that negative review, you need to respond. Not doing anything just keeps it out there in the world for the world to see. And then now they're thinking like, oh, well, maybe there's some truth to it. Or and it could be true, it could be true, and then it means that you don't care. And I don't think anybody wants to do business with a company that doesn't care, but with a company that takes accountability for how they show up for their customers, or how they didn't show up for their customers. People want to know, how did you fix it? So I think that's a great piece of advice, Miss Karen, around just be realistic around how you plan to mitigate any issue, and show up with sincerity and acknowledge that, yes, we got it wrong. And it's okay to acknowledge when you've gotten it wrong, because people will respect you and your business so much more because of that. And so I definitely want to talk just a second about how to collect this feedback. So, Miss Karen, what do you use for your surveys? Is there a particular tool? How do you get the surveys? Is it something through your website?
Through our
Um,
website, through our
okay.
website. They had the opportunity to actually go in there and we have a review out there. They can go in there, answer the questions that we ask. And then at the end of the month, we can collect them and so forth and go. If we see a negative review out there, we will automatically go in and actually try to solve that issue up front, so we can. Because, bad media can hurt your business just as quick as good media can. So you definitely want to go in there and address that as quickly as possible.
And so, do you have a team or a virtual administrative person, or is it you, Miss Karen, who's actually reviewing these reviews on Yelp and on Google? How do you scan the internets to see where some of these reviews might end up, besides the ones that you're sending out after you have a customer experience?
Well, Ashley, I do not have the time to go in and review. So I do have someone that could go out there and they actually look out through the social media, go on our website, collect that data. Now, if there's something negative, I definitely want to be informed, because me being the head of a company, I am held responsible for what any of my employees are doing. So yes, I definitely want to be informed, especially when it's something negative, so that I can address it sooner than later.
Okay. And so one of the things I want to leave with the audience is just how to collect this feedback. One thing that you can do is set up your Google profile page, get that link, and then send it to your customer after you finished an experience or right there on site. Ask that customer, please tell us how we did. Leave this review here on Google, or here, leave this review on Facebook. Have a strategy and choose how you want to collect those reviews, because again, they can go scattered and be everywhere out in the world, but with a focused effort on building up that Google, building up the Facebook reviews, or building up your Yelp reviews. Decide where you want to focus and direct that traffic to that link, and then have that virtual assistant or assign a team member to own that space around customer reviews, and really come up with an actionable plan, something that can be guidelines for your company, that's like, this is how we respond. Maybe you even want to create some templates, some copy and caption, just like how you have frequently asked questions and you know what people are going to ask you. You might have canned responses for those frequently asked questions. Go ahead and create some canned responses for those reviews. So whenever you get it, whether it's good or bad, you have a response that you can leave behind, a reply, excuse me, to your customers. So one of the things I always like to do is just kind of give a quick recap and talk again about what the key takeaways are. And I think the first one is set some customer review goals. Customer reviews are very important. And if you want those referrals as well, put it on your radar to say, this is the amount of reviews I want. This is the amount of referrals I want. This is the amount of repeat business I want. Set those goals for your company. And then the second thing is to create an action plan. Decide how you're going to go after that business, how you're going to incentivize that customer review process, how you're going to incentivize your referrals, and how you are going to engage people to become those repeat customers that you want. Maybe there's a product that you want to upsell, like Miss Karen's critter guards. And so you need to know what that customer journey is going to look like for your clients, so that you can then upsell them through your email or your social media campaigns, so that they are targeted around what's the next thing that they should do, so that you can keep that repeat business coming and continue to capture those good or bad customer reviews. And then gather your resources. Maybe you do need to designate a sole person in your company. Maybe you need to get a virtual assistant and hire that person, or an intern. But make it your business to have a resources in place to be able to collect those reviews and make sure you're getting that repeat business. And then finally, I want us to open the conversation to anyone else who's interested in talking a little bit today about what they learned, or what piqued their interest around these conversations. So if there's anyone on the line, one of our P3 coaches, Miss Rhonda or Laura or Donetta, or one of our audience listeners, please feel free to unmute and to share your thoughts today around our topic.
Good morning, you guys. This is Laura Riley Cooper. I am one of your P3 elite coaches. And I just want to thank Miss Karen for coming on today and sharing her wealth of knowledge with us in regard to solar. I've had the grand opportunity, the pleasure to be working with Miss Karen for the last 4 months. Just helping her to strategize on some of these different things that she has in her mind with regard to the direction of, the way she wants her company to go. And I've learned so much with regard to how this solar process goes and all of that, and been able to watch her as one of our veteran business women to, kind of look up to and see how she moves. And I tell you, it's a pleasure to just see how she deals with all these different moving parts every day. So I do my best to try to make her life a little easier, but it's been a great experience just learning what she does and watching her do it.
Thank you, Laura.
Awesome.
Appreciate that.
Well, I want to thank you all. I think Donetta, you coming on the line?
No, I was just wanting to kind of say just around this customer funnel thing, and just talking about these are the type of services that we want to help support as P3, just to help support so we can kind of automate some of these processes so that you can go out and continue to be great and blaze trails. So these are the type of services and the type of ways that we can directly affect your bottom line as coaches, and especially in this particular group of coaches. So I just wanted to kind of, this is kind of like a perfect example of how we could immediately come in and affect some change and kind of help support a business that's already trending up, and help them kind of get to the next level.
I love that. And that's one of the great things about the Phenomenal Hughes community and our P3 Elite Coaching Services. We have a platform that is geared to help you prepare, pivot, or prosper. So no matter where you are on your entrepreneurial journey, we have coaches and on-demand services that can help you to level up your business. And this conversation around getting these customer reviews, putting it on autopilot, these are indeed the kinds of services that we can provide for you. And I want to thank you again, all of the listeners, for tuning in to another Mocha Money Monday. And we want to thank you again, Miss Karen Nelson, for being our guest. Tell the people before we get out of here, how can they get in touch with you if they're in need of solar services?
You can reach me on our website. It is www.infratech, it's INFRATECH, global, GLOBAL.com. So we're also on LinkedIn as well, the same one, same address. And also you can call directly into our company as well. We actually have a Zoom link that we used to do. We were actually used to do this monthly, going out and educating our customers, but unfortunately we had started getting a little business. And I'm hoping to go back to that at one point in time. Hopefully I will. But also you could reach out to us at 404-836-9908. Again, that's 404-836-9908. And thank you all so very much for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful organization this morning.
Oh, well, we thank you for being here as our featured guest speaker. And we want to again thank all of the listeners for tuning in. And we hope you have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of your month. Have a great one. And please connect with us at phenomenalhughes.com.